see what's good in what we've done here, but I think it will then be the beacon for world-class art to happen here in San Francisco. And Ben, I look forward to, we talk about this being a 2-year commitment, but Amy, we all know with the success this has, we're already, and I will predict that people, including myself, will want this to be ongoing, certainly during my lifetime. And so I have every expectation that we'll be right there hand in hand with you, with the artists, celebrating this to have an ongoing foundation for even more creative art in this city. And by the way, it's budget time, so Tom and the Art Commission, you've done very well with the opening of this timing, and with everybody else, that we have the proper role of art to be creative, to bless us with all the things that are so positive, and to exemplify the arts community for what it's done. So with that, I'd like to introduce our artist, Leo Villarreal.
Thank you so much. I'm beyond thrilled to be here today. This has been an incredible 2.5 years from initial idea, when Ben Davis asked me to consider the bridge and how it could be turned into a canvas, to having thought about it and created a simulation in the computer, a 1-minute animation that so many people saw and were inspired to get behind and able to happen. So many people to thank, but certainly folks at Caltrans and the Bay Area Toll Authority and Mayor's office, Governor's office. There's so many hoops that we had to jump through. This is not something that is easy to do. Getting the permits was one of the miracles. So I thank you all for believing in public art and for helping us get this done. Amy Critchett has been amazing, our executive director. She's just, Amy was able to shepherd this impossible project through all the intricacies of conference calls and meetings and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm incredibly grateful for her help. Grateful to Dorka Keene, who's here and has helped us lead our development effort, which has been another monumental task. We've raised just over $6 million of our $8 million, and we're just all privately funded. This project is an incredible gift by our patrons to the city, and that 50 million people will see this piece directly. That's just a tremendous audience. This piece is incredibly accessible. You don't have to buy a ticket. You don't have to go in any building. It's there and available. Light has a very universal quality. Almost anyone can see it and have some response to it. It's operating on a very primal level. I think the technical team that has put this piece up has been remarkable. Saeed, Chermadze, and Zune has just been a lifesaver. Incredible individual who has never said no to me. Everything has always been possible, and bringing the team together, Parson Sprinkerhoff, Blako, to actually install this work. It's one thing to make a Photoshop simulation or a 3D animation of this project. It's a whole other thing to get up there on the bridge and go up there on a cable walk, which I've done on several occasions, which has been incredibly inspiring. When I was up there, I went up on a cloudy day, and then suddenly the clouds started to part and the light was coming down and hitting the water, and just incredible magic was happening. And I knew that this project would be just fine if I could channel 1% of what I was seeing out there in the landscape and the interaction of all these systems into my work. So I'm very grateful for everyone who helped install this piece. We had lane closures. All the work happened from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. Very difficult work, with a couple of cones protecting you from the onslaught of hundreds of thousands of cars. To the contractors who installed this hanging in harnesses 525 feet over the water. Incredibly challenging work, but it's here we are. I'd like to thank my team and my studio, everyone helping. Jason Cipriani, our lead programmer. Transden for helping us with all our networking. There's a lot of behind the scenes that's happened here that no one will ever know about. We have a 1.8 mile long fiber optic network, racks and racks of switches, computers, wireless connections. I want to thank Timothy Childs, who's one of our Illuminate the Arts board members, who helped us invent this custom clip, which we're using to hang these lights on the bridge. There's a lot of just behind the scenes that it's taken to bring this work to reality. I guess our patrons are also, that's a whole other, unleashing generosity in the way that we have. I'm just really blown away that we've been able to do what we have. Thankful to Illuminode and for their light pendants. Incredible innovation at work. Thankful to Philips for their equipment and for standing behind their technology and helping us achieve what we've done. And so I guess we're here and ready to, punch the button on the computer. We're not using the switch. PG&E wanted to lend us a switch, but we thought that was kind of old school. So we're using a laptop tonight. We're going to hit the key and it's going to go on at 9 o'clock. So I guess I'm just incredibly grateful. I keep pinching myself that this is actually happening in a reality, but I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude, and I'm so eager and happy to be able to share this amazing artwork with all of you. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So my understanding is that we're going to take about 10 minutes for Q&A, and then we're going to break into smaller groups and let you have some individual interviews. And the media team, let me just give one more shout out to Brazen Communication and to Norris Communications for the brilliant job they've been doing. Treated you well, and you may have noticed that we've gotten a little bit of coverage, so I think they're doing a pretty good job. Let's just open it up to questions.
The funding issue, the remaining $2 million, is that finishing funds? What exactly is entailed? The deadline for that to be?
We have 4 more hours, so get busy, everyone. If you look at that bridge and you can see through the towers, that's how far we are. We have 1 more tower to go. Support is coming in quickly. It's coming in both from the thunderbolt of patrons who can really make a big difference on the project, and we're extremely grateful to those folks. It's also coming in really fast right now at the grassroots level. The Gift of Light campaign at thebaylights.org, PHE, baylights.org, has, I hear today, even before this project has gone live, generated $70,000 for the project. One of those lights is one that an individual can buy for themselves, for a loved one, or for someone they want to remember, as I have for my own father. And it's an amazing way to connect to this project while supporting this project at the same time.
Mr. Mayor, the whole world is watching, and what will this do to San Francisco's economy in the future?
As I said, and it's been documented by our SO Travel, that we anticipate some 50 million visitors from all over the world to come especially to view this. Obviously, it's going to complement many of the events that we have hosting around the Bay. The beginning, of course, with America's Cup at the Exploratorium and all the venues. This is the 150th anniversary of the Port of San Francisco, so that's another event as well that we'll be hosting, a number of events that will support that. And $97 million of contribution into our local economy as a result of all these visits. And I think it's just already begun the incredible worldwide buzz in the artistic world of how a city can actually have this happen on an infrastructure that we've always just felt transported 250,000 cars a day. And it was a structure that always concerned about traffic and that hardness of kind of what DPW does, and then to transform that instantaneously at night into a worldwide piece of art. It's truly a beacon, and we're very blessed, and that's why I'm so happy, because this is that transformation that I love about the blend of technology and the utilizing things that we've always seen in one dimension and I'll create a different dimension for it. Incredible.
Hi, my name is Saru Swarber. I'm a reporter from Ars Technica. This is a question for Mr. Villarreal. There's been, seems like, support to have this project be on longer than the 2 years. If that does happen, would you like to see lights on the other side of the bridge, both on the south side over there as well as on the eastern span?
Well, for me, it's been one thing at a time. Getting to today has been 2.5 years. And 2 years is the time that we have, according to our permit. So it's, we put it out there and see what happens. But of course, I'm thrilled for my work to be here, for people to enjoy it, and cross that bridge when we get to it.
Describe what we'll be seeing. I know art is subjective, but when you design this, I know we'll all see something different in these lights, but how would you describe this?
How would I describe the light sequences?
Yeah.
So this is an abstract artwork. It's not a light show, and we intentionally chose to keep it on a very elevated and sophisticated plane by just using monochrome light. So there are no images, there's no text. It's, I'm interested in rules and underlying structures. I work with software. Part of my love of the Bay Area comes from my time when I lived here in the 90s, and I have amazing formative experiences here, working down in Palo Alto at a research lab, and out at the Burning Man Festival. So those, I'm thrilled to be able to bring, that back here. So what people will be seeing are abstract sequences which are inspired by the kinetic activity around the bridge. It's not literally traffic or the water or any of those sorts of things. Those are all filtered into part of my inspiration. So the piece is very open-ended, highly subjective, and I think that's very refreshing for many when, it's just a place to relax, explore. It's very ambient, very livable. And my goal is just to create, the equivalent of a digital campfire that people can be around, enjoy. What I've seen in my testing is just incredible community that's been built. I mean, people gather around and they start talking about it. What is that? And it's just, that's very exciting for me. And seeing people's overwhelming response in social media and videos and images and ways of sharing their experience with the piece is also really wonderful.
Oh, hey, I'm John Law with Laughing Squid, and my question is for you, it's for the artist. You very eloquently stated what it was like being on the cables and working on the bridge, and it's an astonishing structure that we all know and love. My question for you is about the infrastructure. How was it like working in the bridge, on the bridge, behind the scenes, particularly inside a big old cable housing out in the middle? That must have been a hoot getting in there.
Well, I've been mostly out here on the pier where I can see the bridge, and I've been working since January fine-tuning it. But it is a very daunting structure. It's it's remote. The only way to access it is on a boat, and you have to check in with Homeland Security before you go there, and the Coast Guard, et cetera, or you do a lane closure. So it's definitely inaccessible. But our team is amazing. Have gone to incredible lengths to make this system work, and very grateful.
We have one more question, then we'll break to smaller groups. Right here. Yes.
This is a demonstration of visual art having an economic impact on a culture, on a city, and also sort of bringing people together from all these different aspects and walks of life. Simultaneously, we observe art budgets being cut or eliminated. How is it that this happened in such a profound way, and yet we have this incredible disconnect in our culture when it comes to art and economics? Anyone can answer that.
What I would say is that this project has unleashed incredible generosity and focused so much attention on creating monumental public art. And I think the media and all of you and the attention that you put on it has focused energy on that art is something exciting and cool to get behind and to sponsor. So there's a lot of, I think, a lot of energy in that area, and that's what, this is the first of many, and I think that's why we've been supported by so many arts organizations around the Bay Area, because they see this as a first, and there's no going back. So this is leading the way. for huge things to happen, and I think it will unleash even more generosity. And so I hope that some of that can be addressed through the momentum that we built here.
And I'm going to say, as chair of Illuminate the Arts, who've been working on this piece for a long time and watching the energy manifest around it, watching the ads on Craigslist that talk about a front row seat to the bay lights for their apartment, their condominium, watching reservations fill up, that we're going to smash that $97 million over the course of the next year. Very conservative estimate that didn't really look at the totality of what this work can do for our community economically. And I hope that does stimulate a healthy debate about what is a wise investment. And I think generosity is always going to have a place, but I think also, how a community responds to it. Does it make us happier? Does it make us feel more connected? Is a really valuable metric to look at as well. And I welcome analysis from all around and those kind of topics. And on that note, one last thank you. A word of gratitude is to all of you. This project, I think Mark Twain said, bad news is halfway around the world before good news has its shoes tied in the morning. This is a good news project, and I really am grateful for all of you to come here and help spread the word on something that is really positive. Thank you so much.
Speakers, and now we are going to break for individual interviews. I want to introduce all the people who are here to give supplementary interviews. If you have questions about specific topics, and also for our speakers here, we're going to spread them through the room. Mayor Lee will be available outside that door. The rest, everybody else will be in this room. I'm going to announce the speakers, the individual interview opportunities. If our spokespeople here could raise their hands so that we know who they are, that would be great. Each one will be escorted by a member of our PR team, and we all have these lovely Illuminode pendants. So we would need to ask your assistance